Hi guys, this is Jamie. Today I'm kind of doing a voiceover while you guys watch me color. I'm coloring in Romantic Country, The First Tale by Erie or Airy, and I am using my Colors in Motion Twist Up crayons. They're the jumbo ones, so they're nice and long. And I thought I would do the this or that round 2 coloring tag. I was tagged by two lovely people. I was tagged by Emma Colors 2020 and StrawberryBored. And this tag was created by Michaela Renee. And yeah, I thought this would be a great way to answer the questions. You guys could watch me color this picture with these crayons. These crayons actually work really well. I did a haul on them recently, and I really wanted to test them in my Erie book. So yes, first off, I want to start off by tagging my 3 people. The 3 people I would like to tag is T's World of Adult Coloring, Pebbles Adult Coloring, and Wrenns Coloring Craze. They're all here on YouTube. I think that they might have some interesting answers to these questions, and it would be fun to listen to their answers. So yeah, I will just get started. The first question is coloring in bed or coloring at a desk. This one was easy for me. I color at a desk or at a table or like a portable desk. I can't color in bed. It hurts my neck too much to color in bed, my neck or my back. So I have to be able to sit somewhere where my back can be supported. So coloring in a desk would be my answer for number 1. Number 2 is Crayola Super Tips or Staedtler markers. And I would go with Crayola Super Tips. I don't have the dual end Staedtler markers, but I do have their like Tri-Plus fine liners. But I would still choose the Crayola Super Tips. I have a fondness for Crayola Super Tips. I feel like I can do a lot with them, and they're a very functional, budget-friendly art supply that I think make a good base layer for coloring different things. As you can see right here, I'm adding some darker shades to my grass, just still using those crayons. So they do layer a little bit, but not too much. So you just got to be careful when you're using crayons when layering. The next question is number 3, Erie's Romantic Country series or Tracing series. I have the tracing series, some of the tracing series, but I haven't colored in them yet. So I would have to choose the Romantic Country series. Obviously, I'm coloring in one right now, so I choose Romantic Country series. Number 4 is Sachin Sachiva color by number or Color Questopia color by number. And this one's kind of hard for me to choose, but I think I'll go with Color Questopia because I really like the Color Questopia books I already own. And yeah, I would choose Color Questopia. The next one is number 5, Hannah Lynn's simple version of a page or the more detailed version of the page. This one's kind of hard because it depends on my mood, really, and it depends on the page. And so I think I would go, honestly, with the simpler version, because the more simple the version, the more I can detail it out. I don't mind coloring the detailed versions, they just take me longer. So I would choose the simple version over the detailed version. Number 6 is coloring animals or coloring people. And I would definitely choose coloring people. I do like to color animals, but I prefer to color people. I just think it's a fun thing to do their skin and their hair. I just like to color hair and skin. I don't know why. Yeah. So number 7, plan your colors in advance or wing it. So if you've watched my channel for some time, you probably already know this answer. My answer is wing it, because I don't really swatch anything. I mean, I don't have a swatch book full of swatches. I might scribble some on a piece of paper to know what color I'm using, but I don't actually swatch things out. I don't put color combos together. You know, I kind of just pick colors that I think work. Now, I have taken several color theory classes when I was younger, and several art classes and oil painting classes and sketching classes. So I know a lot about color theory. It's kind of just in my brain. So I tend to just pick colors I know are going to kind of go, because it's like embedded in my brain. Maybe that's why I can wing it. But yeah, I don't really plan, and I don't really plan my books out. I just kind of wing it on that too. I just pick whatever I feel. The next question is number 8, straight coloring or blended coloring. I do some straight coloring occasionally. Always straight color in my color by number usually, but for the most part I am a blended colorist. I try to do straight coloring, and I just feel it needs more, and I always add some sort of blending, even if it's a simple outline. So I'm a blended colorist, so number 8 would definitely be blended. Number 9, color by number or color by color. So I just recently got the color by color series from Kirish or Shniva, and I actually really enjoy it. I was pleasantly surprised, and honestly, I would have to pick color by color over color by number, because you don't have to constantly look at a key. The color is there for you. It's just simpler, and I think it's easy coloring. Yeah. What I'm doing right here is I have taken a Crayola Super Tip, and since the crayons have left kind of a waxy base, I'm able to smear in the shadows with my Crayola Super Tip. That's what I'm doing with my finger right now in this part of the coloring. Number 10, alcohol markers or Sharpie permanent markers. I have recently started using more Sharpie and permanent markers, but I prefer alcohol markers. And if I had to choose between alcohol markers with a chisel and a fine and a brush, I prefer the brush tip ones, but I like all alcohol markers, and so I would choose alcohol markers. Number 11, coloring images realistically or wacky colors. Now, when I'm coloring pictures, yeah, I usually color grass green, sky blue, you know, things like that. But occasionally I get in coloring slumps where I feel I need to do something different and change it up a little bit. So when I get to those times, I go ahead and do like wacky colors, and by doing that occasionally I can get myself out of a coloring slump, because it like rocks the boat, kind of like puts you back into shell shock mode. Yeah, but for the most part I usually color them more realistically. Do I color realism? No. but I do color realistic color schemes, if that makes sense. Number 12, color while listening to a podcast, music, or audiobook. I sometimes do music. I haven't really gotten into podcasts or audiobooks, but most of the time, if I'm not doing like YouTube or listening to my kids or whatever, I color in silence. So I wouldn't really say any of those work. I guess if I had to pick one of the three, music would be the one I would choose. Out of podcast, music, or audiobook, it would be music. Number 13, Kirby Roseanne's Worlds Within Worlds or Fragile World. I have both of these books. I have colored in Worlds Within Worlds. I haven't colored in Fragile World yet. I can't really say because I would like to color in Fragile World to get a feel of it before I could really give a definite answer. But since I kind of just have to choose, I'll have to choose the one that I have colored in, which is Kirby Roseanne's Worlds Within Worlds. Number 14, we have Camellia Angelkova's Mandalas or Miniature Series. So this one's kind of tricky because she makes mandalas that have like images in them. I think I have the Christmas one. I have the springtime one as well, but then also I have 101 beautiful mandalas and triangular mandalas. So if you're thinking more of a mandala, that's definitely different than the miniature series. I don't know. I really like the miniature series, but I tend to get burned out a little bit, and I don't know why. Maybe because I don't know. I like it. I like the images a lot, but it's just, this one's really hard for me to choose because I really like the idea of her mandalas, and I'm going off of the simple mandala, like the 101 beautiful mandalas, because you can choose any colors you want and it usually works out. So I think I'll choose the mandalas at this point. Even though the miniature series is stinking adorable, I think I'll have to go with mandalas. Number 15. This one's a hard one. It's buddy color or color on your own. I really do enjoy when people ask me to buddy color. I actually feel privileged, almost like they want to be my friend, and I just feel it's a great honor when they ask me. I feel bad asking other people because I feel like, well, maybe they don't have time, but when they ask me, I try to always make it work, even if my schedule is completely booked and I have a million other projects. I always try to make everybody color work if I can. And color on your own, obviously I do a lot of that as well. If I had to choose, I would probably choose color on your own, just because a lot of times I don't have a buddy color lined up, and I kind of have to just think what I feel like, and it's really good to color what you feel because those tend to be the best pictures. They come out looking incredible because that page was speaking to you, those colors were speaking to you. Basically, it's almost like when I flip through a book, certain images will just scream, color me, and when I color them, they happen so quickly, and I just don't realize how marvelous they come together. I don't get how quickly these things happen. But then when I do a picture that I'm not really loving and it wasn't my thing and stuff, they tend to take longer and they drag out and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's good to expand your horizons and try things that are new. But I think I would choose color on your own. Sorry for the long speech, but that is what I think. But I do love all my buddy colors, and I do appreciate everyone that asks me to buddy color with them. I do feel privileged to even be asked. The next question is number 16. Trying a new artist or buying from an old favorite. If you guys have watched my channel for some time, you can tell that I do quite a few hauls and bring in a lot of new and interesting books. I'm the type of person that has an eclectic taste, so it would be a new artist. I do have the full set syndrome, just like Emma said on her video, where if I have a collection, I do want to complete it. But if I was to choose, like, for example, if I was to choose the new Hannah Lynn book or the brand new Daria Draws book, I would choose Daria Draws because she's new and interesting. I love Hannah Lynn, but I don't know, I just find it more interesting. Like, I bought Circle of Life before I bought Fragile World, because I knew Kirby's style, but I had never tried the artist that does Circle of Life. So I think I would just go with the new artist would be my thing. I just like to try new stuff. And if it doesn't work, then I donate the book and move on. But it's always good for me to try new things. Number 17, colorful or neutral color palette. This one is pretty easy if you look at my Instagram profile, because you can clearly see all of my pictures on my Instagram. A few of them aren't colorful, but for the most part, they're bright, bold, very colorful. I like to make things pop off of a page. It's actually a challenge for me to do a neutral color palette or a dark color palette or even a muted color palette. I tend to go for those bright, bold, poppy colors, rainbow colors. My eyes are drawn to them. But if I want to make it a personal challenge for myself, you'll see me do some pastels or maybe go into the darker families or things like that. I'm hoping in the future I can be brave enough to do like a black and white type of picture or something all in brown tones or something like that. I just worry that I might get bored with it, but I don't know, because the color, when I have color on a page, it just brings things to life, and it makes me happy inside. So I would say colorful. Number 18, typically color a page in one sitting or work on it little by little. So this one is kind of a tricky question, just because I have children and I have to get up a lot to help them with this, that, and the other. But if I have no children at home and all of the household items and chores are done, I really want to just color a page in one sitting. Now, if I'm doing a page like Erie or Kirby or anything like that, yeah, that's not going to happen. But if I'm doing a color by number, or if I'm doing something simple like a Jade Summer, I want to get it done when I started, because I don't like to have all my markers and pencils and all that stuff just scattered all around my desk. And since I'm not very organized and I'm not a planner, I don't write down every single color I used for every page. So I'm the type of person that wants to do a one sitting, but I have to tend to get up from time to time because of children. And if I have to work on it little by little, I complete the object that I'm working on before I exit, like before I leave my book. Like if I'm working on a flower, I will complete that entire flower section before I leave my book. So it would be color a page in one sitting. But my life makes it so that I have to work on it little by little. But I would choose the one sitting. The next question, number 19, color while watching TV or color while watching YouTube. I do both. If I had to do a percentage, the percentage would be in favor of YouTube over TV. I probably watch YouTube or ColorTube probably 75% of the time, and the other 25% would be TV. So that one would go for YouTube. ColorTube would be the answer. Number 20, color by number pixel mosaics or standard color by number. So when I heard people answer this question, I wasn't quite sure what this meant. I'm thinking the pixel mosaics are kind of like the mystery ones, where kind of like those block ones of Disney where you don't know which character you're going to find out, or the mosaics like a Sun Life drawing that they do. So since that is the case, I would choose the pixel mosaics because I do like to do the mystery thing. That's really fun for me. It keeps my attention, and I do enjoy like Sun Life drawings, mosaics. I will be honest with you guys, I have a really hard time with things like George Tufexis, and I have gotten that Mystery Colors magazine and Mystery Colors book. I don't know what it is. I just can't do it. I don't know if I just get bored or I don't know. But yeah, I do fine with the big Disney ones. But yeah. So I would do the pixel or the pixel / mosaics. And the final question is the bonus question. And it says, if you had to use only, I think she's saying only one supply for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? And of course, Michaela had to choose a really difficult one for a mixed media artist such as myself. This is really hard. I'm thinking, I don't know. I guess it depends which books I had. Because if I only had double-sided books, I would choose pencils. If I had single-sided books, I would choose my markers. Oh man, this is hard. Of course, it's the bonus question, and I need to pick. And I wouldn't say watercolor because you can't use watercolor on everything. And I wouldn't say crayons or gelatos because you can't use those on everything. I think I will go with markers because markers you can water down into a watercolor. And markers, you can blend with them. You can build off of each other. Yeah. I will go with markers. I guess if I looked at it this way, if someone offered me the option of getting the full set of Copics or the full set of Holbeins and said you can only pick one, I would pick the Copics over the Holbeins. Not that I don't like pencil. I like pencil. I just really like using a marker, especially a brush tip, because it feels like I'm painting, and I feel like I can do some really fun styles like anime type of coloring where you use the flick motion into blending, and I just really enjoy using markers. It's a lot quicker and I can get things done in a productive amount of time. The only drawback with markers is that yellowing that some markers leave, and that's kind of a downer. But if you have really nice markers, you don't have that problem. So, yeah. If I had to choose, like, starting with number 1, going down, so it would be markers, and then pencils, then my gel crayons, and so on, going down the list. And I would have to say, these crayons that I'm using for this picture, they would have to be on the list. These are definitely not like Crayola Twistables. They are softer than Crayola Twistables. They do not have any debris. And they are loving this page in Romantic Country, which is awesome. And I like the ability to be able to use a water-based marker over the top and be able to smear it to create shadow. It's just really cool effect. Yeah, I really thought that this is really cool. But yeah, so I tagged T's World of Adult Coloring, Pebbles Adult Coloring, and Wren's Coloring Craze. But I also want to let anyone know, if they want to do this tag, they can feel free to do this tag. I think Michaela is okay to leave this as an open-ended tag. So just whoever wants to do it. Yeah, for the most part, it's just a fun thing to do. No problem. Some questions are tough ones, but it's fun. It's good to kind of think about these things and see what you like. So, yes, I actually recorded about 35 minutes of coloring here, and I'm done with all my questions. So maybe I will just kind of color and chat with you guys while we're doing this, and I'm going to tag, or I will put Michaela's video in the description below, and I will also put Emma's channel and StrawberryBored, both of their channels will be below as well. And then yeah, I will do my best to put down the questions on the bottom, but if it doesn't upload, I know Michaela's video definitely has the questions in the description. So yeah, I'll try to see if I can fit them in the description box. So these roses that I am doing, I used a red, this red crayon, twistable crayon, and I wanted to create shadows, and I originally had pulled a dark red Crayola Super Tip, but it wasn't showing up, so I decided to pull a dark purple Crayola Super Tip, and that actually created a nice dark shadow that I could add to these flowers. And when I'm doing the shadows, I just do basically the inner parts of the petals and bring them out, and then once they're done, I go over it again with the crayon, just because that ink is kind of wet, so I blend it into the paper more. And there is no bleed through because we're using crayons, and Crayola Super Tips don't bleed through the Erie books. That's another reason why I like Crayola Super Tips. And then after I'm done with the shadowing and stuff, I have the Arteza white gel pen. I believe I'm using the 0.8 gel pen. And I add white highlights to the sides of the petals that I feel are the lighter side of the petal. And I don't do every petal, I just do some, just to give it a little more dimension and more pop, because I actually want the roses to stand out the most on this page. That's why I'm leaving the little yellow flowers just plain yellow. And you can see the difference here between adding the shadows and highlights versus just the plain coloring. I'm going to move my hand here and you'll be able to see it better with the shadow gone, and how adding those darker shades and those white highlights really bring those flowers to life. Now, I completed this entire 2-page spread, and I completed it on April 30th. I did it after I filmed my completed pages video, so I didn't get a chance to put it on, but I did put it on my Instagram, and if you want to see the full thing of that, you can. Now, when I do the completed part, I actually color the castle with choline colored pencils, just because of the super fine points. It's kind of hard to get in there with a crayon. The flowers are easier because they were bigger and more rounded. And I also use the gel crayons to create a distress inked border around the entire thing. So you'll have to check that out, what I posted. If you guys are interested in seeing me do like more gel crayon videos, I do have a gel crayon video already on my channel that I did quite a long time ago, but I could do another one. I know people had mentioned that they would like to see a video of me putting highlights on a page using either white Posca or white gel pens, just to show how I accent a page. And if you look right now, I'm just adding that darker shade, like I said, and just adding the darker shade made a difference, but you'll see the difference when I add the white. It just brings it up to another level. Now, you can do this with pencils too. You don't have to do this with crayons. You can do this with markers. You basically are just creating a little bit of a shadow and then creating a little bit of a highlight, and it just makes it pop out of the page, which is nice. But overall, my experience with these particular crayons, the Color in Motion Twist Up Jumbo crayons, is very good. I really like them. I needed to get the link for someone today, and when I went on Amazon to look for the link, it said they were currently not available. Now, I had these on my wish list for over 1.5 years before I got them, and they would go unavailable, and then they would come back and go back and go back and go. So since they're not available, don't discourage yourself. They probably will come back, because I've just noticed from the past. So if you do want these, I suggest putting it on your wish list and just keeping an eye out for them, because they are really, really good crayons. And especially in books like this, I really want to try these particular crayons in Kirby Roseanne's books, because his particular line work pretty much brings the shading in for you, and you can pretty much straight color it and it will look awesome. I think I'm going to be finishing up with the red here, and then I'm going to be adding highlights, and then the video will be up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my answers to the questions. And I want to thank Michaela for creating this wonderful tag. And I want to thank Emma Colors 2020 and StrawberryBored for tagging me. I love when people tag me. It is a lot of fun. And I hope that guys enjoyed listening to my answers. So, yeah, I see how I waved my hand. It's because the ink was still a little wet, and the last thing I wanted to do is put my hand on wet ink. Now, I did get a little smearing when I finished the page, and when that happened, I actually took my electric eraser to it, and it actually came off pretty well, even though it was marker. So you just never know what those electric erasers can take off. So you never know. So I'm just doing those little tiny bits on the petals. Oh. But I am wishing all of you guys a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you guys next video. Bye guys, take care, stay safe.